doing the work could happen in just a few days. Now that certainly takes time. Rankings take time for Google to
Yeah.
decide that you're trustworthy. Over the course of a few months, we'll start to see improvement if we continue to put out trustworthy content. But most people, they talk about the content, but they never do anything about it. So then I come back and I check their stats, and then I'm like, okay, well, there's stats are still, what's going on here? Come on, right? So Ryan, glad you're here. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Good to see you guys. I'm doing well. Yeah, how are you?
Good. Did you buy brianacaraci.com?
I own it and I just got verified today. So
Oh, that's awesome. Did you share that?
I did not. No,
You should make a LinkedIn post about that.
I should. Yeah. I don't see the when I did my search though, I don't see it, structured or formatted the way you said it would be. So I don't know if it
So
takes time to
you
do
probably have a knowledge panel, but
that. Yeah.
it didn't always trigger. So just because you have a knowledge panel doesn't mean it's always going to show.
Okay.
Yeah. So we
Okay.
can see why that might be. Usually the conference score has to be a little higher.
What is that number normally?
I mean, I like to see it over 100, but most people are like 12 or 24 or something like that.
Yeah, his knowledge panel claim for me or
This one,
me.
so
Yep.
this is a partial knowledge panel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not a full knowledge panel is all the colored boxes, but this is a
Right.
great start.
Yeah.
And you've got RyanAcaraci.com. Notice the title on that was Ryan Acaraci Home.
Yeah.
It should probably be Ryan Acaraci and then something about what you do. 60
Okay.
characters, right? The result you drive, who you serve, not home. Home is not, you're not trying to rank on the keyword home.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Your tech expert, too broad. Podcast, that's good. You've interviewed a ton of people.
Yeah.
I bet you if we do a site colon search, yeah, there's not many. If you've interviewed all these people, every one of those interviews should be a web page here using AI like I showed you to be able to repurpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we look at, I got so many tabs that are open. I just had yours open, didn't I? Where is it?
Yeah, I'm working on redeveloping the site. So each of those episodes is like its own page. So it's taken a while, but
What is taking a while about that? What's hard about that?
I mean, it's my family member who's doing it, so he's working on other things, so it's just a little.
Well, the AI can do it almost instantly.
Yeah.
I get it. We're all busy.
Yeah.
So you rank on this guy's name in position 52 on a keyword difficulty 0. So you should be able to dominate. And this is a nice thing, like we talked about, all these people that you've interviewed, especially these franchise consultants, they're well known among other groups. When they're more Googleable, that drives more people to you too. And plus, they
Yeah.
see you as having done them a favor, like we talked about.
Right.
And Jack Went and I had been working like you would not believe. Like this, look at the level of detail we've been working on this thing. There's all sorts of stuff like you would not imagine that needs to happen to make these personal brand websites work. But
Yeah.
we were just in a working session earlier. Jack's in charge. I'm tech support, but he's thinking of charging $100 as the campaign, like personal brand website build fee,
Mhm.
and $20 a month for the ongoing hosting and all the other components to make it happen. I've sold a few of
Okay.
these already just for clients, just for fun, just so that, I sold one this morning and we started working on it. $1,500 to get it going. But Jack and I think using AI and all that, we could drive the price down to $20 a month.
Yeah, the people that pay 1,500 bucks are going to be pretty upset when we.
No, they're not, because they're getting service from me. And then I'm featuring them on all these high profile sites, and I'm doing all this other stuff. So it's beyond just people know if they're paying 1,500, we're not charging 1,500 for hosting a website, okay, and using our tool. Obviously, our tool does all these things like I was showing you, but because it does all these things, right? Basically to help you rank on Google. That's the whole point. It's not a vanity thing. There's a lot of website builders out there like, Wix and Squarespace and whatever, but none of them are pulling in the content and turning those videos into articles and then linking them together in the right way. And then we've bought all these enterprise plugins, which we do on behalf of all of these people that we have in here, and we have a track record of triggering a lot of these knowledge panels. And none of them have a lookup tool, or for some reason I can't seem to get into our system so I could show you how it's all done. But we've put a lot of effort into this. So like a SaaS, it only makes money when there's 10,000, 100,000 people using it. You're never going to make money at $20 a month. So it's not an agency service. It's not like me doing it. That would never work, right? It has to be Uberized as a two-sided network, which is why we're, setting up this whole thing here, right? Yeah. And then the onboarding, they tell us the goals, content, and targeting. We pull all the information. We then put it into the site. So, and like what we see with you, Ryan, happens all the time where people say, yeah, I put up a site, or it was a Squarespace. It was a year ago. My brother's working
Yeah.
on it, whatever it is. But there's so little info here.
Yeah.
There's no traffic coming to it anyway. So it almost doesn't matter. Right?
Yeah.
As you know, not, I mean, it's beating a dead horse. Everyone's like, yeah, I always meant to, but I was busy doing all these other things. And,
Yeah.
right? It's hard to argue with this here, right?
What about my podcast page? Can you look at the traffic on that? I'm just curious.
The page on the site,
Yeah. Well, it's hosted on Podbean, so
well, we don't know what the page on, well, let's see. The best way to find stuff is to Google it. That's the best way to
yeah.
test. Oh, look, your public figure's showing up. Is that you?
That's not me there though. That's a guest I had.
So you have confused Google.
Yeah.
Is that other Scott guy that was showing up here?
No, that's Stephen Klubeck. He's a founder.
Okay.
I don't know why they're pulling up. Maybe because his SEO is better than mine. I don't know. He's more well known, obviously, but
Business Stories with Ryan Arcoraci. Podbean, but at least you put it on YouTube as well.
there are some episodes on YouTube. Yeah.
How many of these episodes? I remember you had a lot. You have a lot of these, don't you?
150. I just did one today, so I'm at 157.
I bet you all these are 0 on Podbean. I bet you Podbean is basically more just hosting it.
Yeah.
So people, if they have the link, they can, but just because it's on Podbean, I don't think anyone's going to see it or find it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying don't use Podbean or any of these distribution services, but the biggest issue with podcasts is they're basically, no offense, they're basically private Zoom calls where it could be like other people could listen to it, but it's basically just a couple people having a conversation and no one else ever sees it, which is the real sad, ugly truth about podcasts, right?
Right.
Oh, but if you have a podcast, you could be like Joe Rogan. Yeah, but how many people are not like Joe Rogan?
Yeah.
99.9%. And these are not really getting anything either. So you can use the Podbeans and other tools to redistribute it, and I'm sure like this guy Mike, who's Augusta Lawn Care. By the way, Jack's got a company that services lawn and tree companies. But I would wonder, is this showing up anywhere? Mike Andes. So the best way to check is literally Googling it for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it here? It's here, but obviously Apple Podcasts is huge. Look at this.
Yeah.
But this page, this episode doesn't have any power.
Yeah.
You mentioned it on LinkedIn. Somebody reacted to it 6 days ago, but it's not, there's no power, and there's no power here, even though you're using Podbean and these other, it's like none of these are, this one has a little bit because it's a subdomain off of Podbean.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm sure that you're choosing great guests, and I'm sure they're great conversations, but no one's seeing any of it, right?
Yeah.
So if you are able to Google, if we're able to rank on the names of these 150 something people, that drives traffic for them and you, and more people hear the podcast. That also increases their confidence score and your confidence score according to Google. We don't determine the confidence score. That's Google's thing. And it's just good for everyone, especially in B2B.
Yeah.
But you have a chicken and the egg, because this could be great conversations, but if there's no engagement on it, then no one knows about it. So what's the point?
Yeah.
And then your family member that's working on it, they may or may not understand how to do this. But we have tons and tons of training that we've published on how to do it. So it's not a secret, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do we need to do to overcome this?
Well, I need to restructure my site, which is what I'm doing now. But yeah, I need to get more visibility out there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think $1 a day is great. Put $1 a day against any of these people and target just them, right?
Yeah. But even if I get the visibility, I think the question is, what do I want it to do, right? Because I want to be able to leverage it to drive business. So
Right. But you do that through thought leadership.
yeah.
Because when you're associated with, the know, like, trust, the multiple steps in the funnel, instead of just driving everything towards a consultation, like you're not a prostitute, right? You're not trying to drive everything to, you know what I mean? Like you stack the funnel, right? You build the relationship, this kind of thing, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So as part of your personal brand, the personal brand website will help, but like I was showing you, you have to claim all the entities on social. It doesn't mean you have to tweet or you have to post on LinkedIn or you have to be on Instagram, but you still have to claim those entities.
Mm-hmm.
So at least we can put your information and then from there link back to the personal brand website. But because the personal brand website doesn't even have a fav icon, look, it's got the globe thing, which means no. See, all these other ones have a fav icon and this one doesn't.
Yeah.
What is this?
Well, this is just a GoDaddy site. It's not great.
Yeah, I see. It's GoDaddy. Okay, yeah, you're using website builder.
Yeah.
You should use our platform.
So you said what, $100 and then $20 a month? Is that what you said it is? Or
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
yeah.
And for the first few hundred customers, you actually get me and Jack helping you. Isn't that sort of funny? Like you've got digital business development and innovative web development, things like this, and we're going to help targeted digital marketing. That's something we know something about, right?
Yeah.
So, by us associating with you, that helps us show that we are actually credible when it comes to innovative web development and targeted digital, sales strategies and all this.
Mhm.
And it helps you as well because we're already credible in this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And for your company as well, and for your CEO if he ever replies, right?
Yeah. I do a lot of web development work, and I feel like you guys could help on the back end of that too with my clients. So
Like all these
that's
guys.
all
Why
these
don't you link
guys.
to these guys? Why don't you interview them for 5 minutes and talk about, well, they're amazing. If they're amazing, you should interview them on your podcast for 5 minutes, like we talked about, right?
Couple have been like back to the 80s Cafe. I think a while back I interviewed him. Gongcha I did a while back. The other two, no.
So I'm sure these are great firms, but I would imagine you have a personal relationship with the owners
Yeah.
and you guys share some kind of story about how they got started and how you know each other.
Yeah.
So our question is that visible to Google?
Probably not. No.
Which then supports, you understand the whole thing about EEAT. You're showing real proof, real experiences, real relationships, showing like, yep, actually it was Gongsha and we did this and that, just
Yeah.
because this doesn't, this like Judge Google will look at this and say, there's no evidence here proving that this is
Right.
true.
Yeah.
So I bet you have it locked up. It's somewhere locked up and we have to, so if I know something about, tea and coffee, I'm not a Mormon. I do drink a lot of tea and coffee. Then there's a lot of proof of me having tea and coffee.
Right.
And this is drinking
Yeah.
coffee and, all these different places. Having tea and coffee, Happy Lemon, having tea and coffee here, right? With my buddy Joe. You can see like I can clearly show that I'm friends with my buddy Joe because Google's automatically associated all the stuff where Joe and I have ever hung out
Yeah.
from years and years and years and years ago, right?
Yeah.
So we just want to show Judge Google that we actually do the thing that we say that we do. But what is it that you say that you do? Business technology innovator. What about the stuff with franchise consultants? What about all these people that you are
Yeah.
associated with? It's this
Yeah.
eWeb jelly.
It's just a video from my web development stuff that I do. So my brother-in-law is my partner and he's a developer. So
Yeah.
this is probably a really bad video. I think I made a video of cloning myself. So I walk through the door and there's me there.
Okay.
It's just like a funny little thing, but it's not that
Yeah.
great. So
I mean, whatever.
yeah,
eWeb jelly.
I don't have a lot of content on there. So
Well, it's got a 34, probably because you're linking. Okay. So whenever we see a relatively high domain rating
yeah,
and no keywords, usually the juice is coming from sites that you've built that you put footer links in.
yeah, that's most likely it. Yeah.
Yeah, you see
He's
that
built
that's
a lot
what's
of
going on here,
sites.
developed by eWeb. That these are all parasitic links.
Yeah.
So you have the juice.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you have the juice, but you don't rank on anything because you don't have any content.
Right.
So if you had the content, you could actually leverage this. Then, because we have a lot of juice. So I love featuring Jack. And I think that probably had something to do with his knowledge panel because I passed so much juice to him that it triggered a knowledge panel.
Yeah.
So he doesn't rank on anything.
Yeah.
See what the pages are. It won't have any pages. Yeah, there's no pages. See, but
Yeah.
these are all easy fixes. They're so easy because, AI does all these things now, right?
Right. Yeah, that's a lot.
Is it though?
There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot. This site I need to drive traffic and improve the SEO on this site and then my own site and like everything. There's so much. I need to connect the podcast to what my personal brand and it's
Yeah,
just
but
a
the
lot.
AI does all that. You just need someone who sits down with the AI and manages this, instructs the thing
Yeah.
and keeps it accountable. Otherwise, it generates garbage.
Yeah. So how long, I mean, how long are we talking to optimize it fully? Are we looking at like what, 3 to 6 months to get more traction with it? Or what do you think?
Was if you have that content
Yeah.
somewhere on your phone, Zoom calls, Podbean, then if you process it through the Content Factory process, then you can repurpose it to all of these entities, right? You're not
Right.
going to be on Alignable or Vimeo or Flickr or whatever, TechCrunch to show that it's a company or about.me. But if you get all this stuff organized, you can just one shot push all that stuff over. Like I help franchise consultants, with their technology marketing CRM problems. And here's 4 or 5 of the common problems. And here's some friends that I've helped. And we've talked about this and this and that. And like, okay, where's the proof of it, right?
Yeah.
And then like I have to show proof of it too. So like here, I could tell you there are 4 stages in the Content Factory, Or I could also show you how we've done it over and over and over again. And I've taught lots of courses and whatever on it, Like there's one thing with showing the diagram. It's another thing with showing that this is being taught at Johns Hopkins University and all these other places, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
There's proof of it. I put proof of it everywhere, On the airplane, I put proof of it. Proof. Look, there's proof. Me and Jack hung out with the CEO of what company was it? Vizio. They sold to
Yeah,
Walmart.
Vizio.
We hung out with them. There's proof. All this proof. Proof that I went to a Trump rally. There's Donald Trump. So yeah, I just want to get everything onto these sites and make it easy to see.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think you have got business leaders, owners, David Stoll, me, you, people who are over 50, and then we just need to have someone do it, I guess.
Yeah.
That's why we need the Jacks of the world, and then all the people that Jack's training to do all this. So yeah, I think Ryan, you should sign up for this no-brainer $100 one-time $20 a month package, and then we'll build the stuff out if you give us the ingredients, which I think you have. But
I have a lot. I mean, it's like I said, it's a matter of just taking it all and connecting it all. So yeah.
but where is it? Where is it?
So
Oh,
this is my podcast YouTube page right there, which is
this
very
one.
new. It's brand new. So
Okay.
so it's just growing, but
Okay.
you know,
All right. So it makes sense. Like you're featuring these guys' names, Stephen Klobeck and Joey
yeah,
Coco. That's cool.
yeah.
So wouldn't it be really cool where, you interview Joey Coco on how he nearly died in a car accident, and then a couple months later, you say, "Hey Joey, you know, I was so inspired by our podcast that I wrote an article honoring you,
Hmm.
and I'd love to put that as a guest post on your site."
Yeah.
And like I was showing you, instead of you saying that, you just have a VA, and the VA says, "Hey, I work for Ryan, and he wanted me to let you know that he was so inspired by how you talked about the recovery and how that relates to business, the car crash, and how it changed your life, and seize the day, and all this. That we wanted to write, Ryan wrote a blog post kind of summarizing what we learned from you. We'd love to post that on your site." And of course, they'll say yes. And then
Yeah.
that guest blog post links back to you, right? It's good for him and it's good for you. Because why wouldn't he want to honor the things that he said? Those were his words on the podcast.
Yeah.
So let's see, Joey Coco. And certainly you wouldn't interview people unless they were interesting enough. So you could say Joey Coco. Well, where's Joey Coco? Can we find him? It's not this guy, is it? No.
No, that's an actor. I don't know how well he's doing with his brand. I mean, he's a franchisee, so his name brand is something completely separate from his franchise. So, but he owns a Budget Blinds franchise in Florida.
Okay, this guy.
Yeah.
Budget Blinds.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Yeah. But wouldn't it be cool if this helped build his personal brand and other connections within by mentioning he's in Sarasota?
Yeah.
Because he's making posts and like not much is that. Like, why would you want to interview people on your podcast that are notable? Like if they're not notable, that actually kind of hurts you and hurts them. But the more notable you make it, then it's like, oh, well, Ryan interviews people who are worthwhile. Like you never want
Yeah.
to say someone's not worthwhile to interview, right? But you want to make them more, it's good for you to show that they're notable, right?
Yeah.
And plus that helps his Budget Blinds franchise.
Right.
Because then you link to them. Because in that article, you can say, yeah, I interviewed Joey Coco, who owns Budget Blinds in Sarasota. And then that's a legitimate link to him, right? Totally legit.
Yeah.
Budget Blinds in Sarasota. This is him, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, obviously, Budget Blinds is huge. Look at that, 71.
Yeah.
But this Sarasota location is a week 926 and only 32. So what if we could easily increase this with a few decent links? Podcasts are the best way to increase that. I bet you doesn't even rank on, oh, it does rank on Blind Sarasota. Super easy keyword difficulty. Look, the whole point of franchise is local, isn't it? It's just local at
Yeah.
scale. Just like David Stoll with his Stoll Learning Centers. Are you guys okay with all the fires and what you got? You're not in Malibu and whatever. You guys are okay, right? Yeah. My mom's okay. She's in the South Bay. So, okay. Blinds, Braden. Look, position 4, position 5, 4, 3. These are all like right in striking distance. Like a little bit of juice, Ryan, could move him up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you already had him on a podcast. Why don't you already made the podcast?
Yeah.
Why don't you get a couple of VAs to do the stuff? That's all you got to do. Curtains. I mean, one day blinds. Oh, look at this. These are, look, 6, 0, 0, 0. These are easy. I'm beating the dead horse now. I think you get it.
I get it. I get it. Yeah.
How many other Joeys are there? 150 of them, aren't there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mike Andes shares the secret to becoming a, okay. Mike Andes.
He's kind of his own brand too, but he's more in the home service space.
Okay. Augusta Lawn Care. What's the probability that he's claimed his knowledge panel?
I would say pretty slim.
And you're correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could just have a VA that just helps these people claim all their knowledge panels.
Yeah.
Because the only way to get to his knowledge panel is through this particular URL, which you have to use our tool to find. Because if I just do a Mike Andes, oh no, it does show up over here. Okay. But it's not a full one.
Yeah.
So you said he is kind of a public figure. Okay. So he's got a personal brand site, Copilot CRM.
That's his own CRM he built, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'll bet you that podcast could help him and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because all the traffic's coming on his CRM, then the homepage, and then none of this other stuff is helping him at all, really. Because then you could say, and you could have the AI. I already showed you. Take the AI to repurpose the article and then link to his Mike Andes and then mention something about Copilot. So the thing that's working well for him, he can get more out of that. So he's probably ranking on, well, obviously.
Let me ask you this. I have a bunch of clients with this company they're all coaches. I'll put this in the chat so you can take a look. I'm curious how their performance is. So here's this site here this is Scott. He's a client of mine. His broker creates his site. So every time there's a new coach, they just build him a cookie cutter site that they use.
Okay.
But I have a feeling.
You put into the chat?
I did. Yeah, it's in there. Oh wait, hold on. Here we go. Let me do this again.
Okay, there it is. Welcome, Alex. Good to see you here.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur Source.
So this is a
ownership
franchise broker group.
Okay.
He's a coach, but they have like 200 coaches. I'm just curious how
Scott. Okay.
Scott. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this is medium strength.
Yeah.
So that's a legitimate organization.
Yeah.
They don't rank on very much. And then Scott as a coach, there's not really much going on. He's getting one visit per month, basically.
Yeah.
So Scott Kaiser, I'm going to guess, because I've done this so many times, that he probably doesn't even have his own site. Is this him?
The second one is him. Yeah.
That's him. Career ownership coach. Okay. Okay. He's under domain protection. Okay, fine. Who is it? Does he have a site up? Oh, this is what his site is. Okay. Whoever that is. That may or may not be him. We don't know who it is.
It may not be him. There could be a lot of Scott Kaisers out there.
But he should be Scott Kaiser then. And then we could do the whole thing for him. If he has the content, which I would think he does.
Well, he posts a lot on LinkedIn, but I don't know how you would use.
Okay. So this is his main page.
Yeah.
Meet Career Coach. So it should link to his socials and all this. Yeah, it does. Okay.
Yeah.
So you think his YouTube's bigger than all these other ones?
I don't know.
He's got 37 videos.
Yeah.
But I bet you none of these are being repurposed to anything.
No.
eSource Coach. Okay. It goes back to this one. Okay. Oh, he has a subdomain on top of this too. Why is he doing that? See, that doesn't help him at all. Okay.
I think it's more controlled by his broker, not by him. So
yeah, I think it is, because when we see this, I'm pretty sure this is all just stock nonsense.
Stock, yeah.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, it is. Look, this is everywhere. Look at these. Same thing. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing like this page on Scott Kaiser should be all about Scott Kaiser, your ownership journey.
Because I'm thinking if you guys can help with this stuff, then I might be able to refer some of these people to you to help with this. But again, I don't know how much control they have. I think it's more on the broker side. So
well, yeah, fine, because they're part of a brokerage, or just like the franchisees, they're governed by you got to conform to the mothership. But I've never seen a franchisee or brokerage, or even like in real estate, like you see a lot of people under Keller Williams or whatever. I've never seen them say no to you having a personal brand site, or saying no to you having a podcast or being on other people's podcasts.
Yeah.
The personal brand thing is orthogonal to all the stuff that's already here, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't interfere with this. It bolsters all the stuff about personal brand, your relationships, wherever, like Jack and I teach, bolsters all the things that you do for a living.
Yeah.
Because it makes you more credible and trustworthy, and that, shows the real meat behind the EEAT.
Right.
I'm going to own a franchise. Well, let me hear stories of other people that have done this thing. He's got all these followers. So he's interviewing these other people, and they're talking about how they're making a career change and starting a franchise and deciding which one they want. And he's walking and talking. No one's seeing it. So he has the content. He just needs to stick it inside a personal brand website and then have it structured so that it can be seen by Google.
Yeah. Okay. This is good to know.
It's pretty straightforward, right? It's inarguable. The clear thing that's missing, and how can anybody argue with $20 a month, and then
Yeah.
$100 for our team to do all the stuff, which is not consulting. It's not, it's, we're just doing very basic implementation, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Jack, you there?
Yep, I've been here the whole time.
So what do you think? You want to do this one? Take
Yeah.
care of Ryan, and if Scott wants to do it or whatever, we don't need to
Yeah, I
sell.
already got
If they
some-
want it, they just sign up.
I already got
that
some
easy.
notes down for him, so
I want to do it, but I also have to talk to my brother-in-law who's working on my site. I got to see where he's at with it. So before I jump in, let me talk to him.
And either way, like if your brother-in-law wants to follow the same model, we publish exactly how we do everything. And I don't consider it stealing. If he wants to do this and start a business doing the same thing we're doing or do it for all his clients, he can have all of our SOPs. I did a office hours 2 weeks ago where I showed exactly how we're doing all of it, including the AI guides. Like, here's a blog post helper. Like, I created an AI to grade articles. I did one to do public speaking. I did one to, like, there's associated files for each of these, right? Your brother-in-law can have all of it. So we're, do it with us, do it with him, start your own thing. It's totally fine. Yeah, cool. Are there any questions or things they want to share or data we can look at? Otherwise, Jack and I are going to hire some VAs to show you guys how to do it live.
Did you send me the SOPs and stuff you're talking about, Dennis? I don't know if I got them.
If not, just send a note to Stephanie at Blitzmetrics saying, hey, just give her context. Do you want content factory stuff? Do you want personal branding? Do you want to, it's for your eWeb jelly, web design, kind of like just give us context and we'll give you the relevant SOPs. And we update these things every week or two, so they're always getting better.